Yeah. Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Vidane TV, here live on a Thursday night for the Multi-League Cup Series. Just picking up a series sponsor a few weeks ago, Stone River Outfitters. Very happy to have them on board with these guys here on a Thursday night. Showtime, Paul Strickland Jr. up here in the booth with my brother from the Rock, Mike James from Eastbound. How we doing tonight, Mikey?
Yeah! Look at that, James Lehman on top of the board here. That's my man. He is going to be your pole setter. And I'm fabulous, man. We're going racing this weekend for race number 3 up here in the Great White North.
And that's what it's all about, racing all over the country, all over both countries, up in Canada and down here in the United States. Got a little bit of racing, a full racing weekend in myself. Last weekend, Friday night, got to watch Jarrett Bolliard, one of the Vidane Racing champions, debut in the seat of a street stock for the very first time and put that car through its paces. Did a phenomenal job. And the number 22, easy enough for me to say, street stock, courtesy of a Renner race car. Turned a lot of heads for all the right reasons, kept up with the pack, passed a lot of cars, and really entertained a lot of people and really showed what that 22 car can do out of that Renner race car stable. So really got to thank Gary and Paulie from Renner Race Car, all those guys, Jared Bolliard for coming out. Kevin England came in from New Jersey, hung out for the weekend, and we sat and had us a couple of ice cold wobbly pops and watched us some SRX racing on Saturday night, and that was pretty damn fantastic. Those cars were made to beat and bang, and once they got it figured out, once they figured out the track, they put on one whale of a show, just like we're getting ready to see here tonight. You can see the starting lineup going across your screen right now. 32 drivers making the call here for the very first race here at Nashville Superspeedway. This track hasn't seen any NASCAR action in over a decade, but bringing it back here for the 2021 Cup season. And we're going to be seeing a couple of races here on Vidane TV. This one, the very first one with the Multi-League Cup Series, and Monday night, the Sim 500 Trans Service Cup Series is going to be coming here as well. So lots of action coming up here at Vidane TV. And we got 100 laps here, Mikey. 1.33 miles the distance per each lap. That's, well, it's a little bit over 100 miles. But there's Barney up in the flag stand, waiting. Green flag is in the air. We're racing in Nashville.
He's whacking it, and we got a lot of two-wide action, but James Lehman's going to come out all the way out front with a couple of Garlands here and take control of this one. This car. Scott Patton does join the field. I was getting worried there. He's at the tail, 32nd position. He's going to be the hard charger here tonight.
87 car, Keith Haney slipping just a little bit on the start, dropped 3 positions, got caught in the middle of 3 wide, and there you can see he grabs it back into the bottom side there, right in front of Merck. He's in 7th place right now. He's going to try and climb his way back up to the front, but give that first lap, the very first lap, to James Lehman in the 05 Toyota.
Yeah, that's it. James Lehman taking the pole here tonight, dominating. Oh, come on.
Couple of cars around there. You see the 82 of Brian Abbott in the grass. He's lost the front, lost the nose of that car as well. So very quickly here, lap number 2, we're going to pull up the Kong Beer Bong instant replay. And well, I forgot to bring my Kong Beer Bong to the track this past.
I was about to ask that. Did you get
weekend.
Tony Stewart to do the bomb?
Tony Stewart was very, very focused all weekend. He didn't really have much time to do social calls, but he's got a series to run, and he did a fantastic job. That SRS race was so good. Definitely,
Sick.
if you haven't seen it, check it out. It should be on CBS app or something. But here's the Kong Beer Bong instant replay. Focus in on that number 82. You can see, the action's actually up a little bit in front of him there. The 16 car. Oh, big hit for the 82. A couple more hits as well. And we'll see if we can pull up the 16 car. That's Ken Richardson pointed in the wrong direction. And we'll back this up just a little bit. And we'll see. Looks like there might have just been a little bit of contact between the 16 and the 21. 21 of Kim Quick coming on down. And, well, that was some big contact. Heading for the same piece of real estate there. And there you can see coming back down and clobbering that 82 quarter panel, getting him spun around and playing a little bit of Plinko with that 82 car. But going to be tough. Some of these guys going to be able to keep on going. And a couple of cars going to be sitting on pit road here for a little bit, Mikey.
Yeah, I was watching a podcast there earlier today with Earnhardt Jr. and I believe it was the cat car, Burton. And that actually happened between the two. Earnhardt took Burton out, and Burton was not happy with the deal and actually came out onto the race surface. And they were actually talking about Dale Sr. and moves like that, and position a lot of rubbing and stuff back in the day. If you had hit Earnhardt Sr., you were the bad guy for weeks on weeks. But if he did it to you, it was okay. It was pretty interesting to watch that podcast today and get the feedback from Burton versus the 2-year numbers.
Yeah, it's cool to see back in the history of racing and motorsports all the way around the globe. Really, Teddy Christopher, big racer, big name here in Stafford Motor Speedway, passed away a few years ago in an unfortunate helicopter crash. But that was his move. He'd get up behind you. He'd bump you once to let him know you were there. He'd bump you twice to say, "Hey, I'm still here." And then, well, when he bumped you the third time, that's it.
What was so cool about that podcast is just the how hard the fans were for Dale Sr. And if you touched their boy, then you were just the next race you were being booed at. So, but if he did it to you, it was okay, So it was pretty interesting to see that today. I never knew that of Burton and Earnhardt.
Looking through the field here, trying to take a peek, seeing Scott Patton still down on pit road in that 46 car. Came up to Stafford Motor Speedway last weekend. Came over, introduced himself, had a nice cold beer. It was pretty cool to meet somebody that you met kind of through the sim racing deal. So it's pretty cool to meet Scott, and had a pretty good time just kind of talking sim racing, where we came from, how long we've been doing it. And Mikey, it's crazy. I know you're kind of new to the iRacing game and the sim racing world, and we got some old dogs in this fight. Kevin England, who was around Stafford Speedway last weekend, and Tim Terry, our buddy from up in Maritime Canada. We've been doing this sim racing thing a long time, especially here at ANTV. We started as a sim racing league back in 2006, and been through a couple of different format changes, doing the TV gimmick and the broadcasting stuff now, bringing all the entertainment to the masses. And it's pretty cool to see, and it's pretty cool to see just how big this sim racing deal has gotten across the country.
Well, I can't wait for the day that we are all in Phoenix on the Dane TV pilgrimage. And I'm sitting there having a beer with James Lehman, who's your leader here tonight, the 05. Lehman's been a dominant figure here in the multi-league. And how cool would it be to get all these leagues together and go out to see the final in Phoenix this fall?
Yeah, most definitely. I know a lot of drivers, a lot of sim racers are going to different racetracks, and it's really, really cool to see. I'm trying to make something happen this year. I don't think it's going to work. But I think if we don't get that pilgrimage out to Phoenix, we absolutely have to get a pilgrimage going down to Speed Weeks next year.
Daytona for sure. We'll be there for sure for Newfoundland and Labrador, part of the NASCAR home tracks, and we have our meetings down there during the week. But everybody's all about Daytona, but what's really cool is to see the ARCA Series and Speed Weeks and New Smyrna, and as well as going down and see the Winter Nationals from the U.S. Legends and the Bandos out past Orlando there. So lots of racing throughout that whole area that whole week. So it's almost that's probably a better idea to get things going. But we need to get a really big RV for the Center of the Field.
Oh, 100%.
We're definitely getting on TV.
Oh, we definitely getting on TV and actually talking to the guys. Listen, I'm talking to Start a Town Like You. Green flag in the air, going racing one more time on lap number 7. But actually talking to the guys, Kyle Young and Wes Hogue, about potentially getting down to one of the short tracks in there and seeing if we can't find a bomber division with a couple extra cars. Wouldn't that be cool?
Totally, and to see most of these racers, I know many of them probably do already go to Daytona. So if we can get everybody together, what a time we'd have, and wouldn't it be awesome to get Screech in James Lehman and get him to kiss the codfish, and I'll bring in codfish with me from Newfoundland and get him to Screech rum and get him to say me old cock and run me a big round.
I'll bring the Spam.
The Spam. Well, Vienna sausage is the national meat for up here in Newfoundland, so we'll get some Vienna sausage.
That's what it's all about. Taking a look through the top 10, a little bit of change. James Lehman still up front in that 05 car. Challenge for the lead now. Ken Huber going down on the inside with the number 30 Caterpillar car. Holding right to him. You could throw a zip tie between those door handles if these cars had them. And you got Greg Wellen in the 94 car right behind him. Don't see him usually in the Cup Series. Greg Wellen's an old dog. Been around sim racing for a very, very long time. Actually used to make custom die casts and made a custom die cast for myself back when I was running the Xlander blue colors. I believe the other sponsor was AMP. I've actually got that in storage with the rest of my die casts, and I'm in a temporary moving situation right now. But I have to pull that thing out of storage and get some pictures of that thing up on a Facebook page. He did a great job with that. But the top three, single file, Heath Smith holding on to the third position, fourth position, check that. Back and forth between he and Andrew Schultz side by side for fourth and fifth, and it's a gaggle of cars back on behind them for the second half of the top 10.
A gaggle of cars.
Gaggle of cars.
That should be, we should put that actually on a t-shirt.
A gaggle of pandemonium.
Lots of side-by-side action. That Heath Smith doing a great job there. Almost 3 wide. I believe that's Haney trying to pick his nose and put it in there. Lots of action here in the early parts. 11 laps completed. We're 1/10 of the way.
Yeah, this track really putting on some great racing here. Been watching a lot of the iRacing leagues practice at this track. It's a brand new to the service as of last week, and it's one of those tracks that closed down for a little while. NASCAR was their lifeline, and they pulled the plug back, I want to say, back in the early 2000s, and they ended up shutting the track down for better than a decade. And came back. They'll be running here, I believe, this weekend, in the NASCAR Cup Series, and we're seeing the first race here on Bedane TV. And it's a super speedway. It's 1.33 miles all the way around this racetrack, and lots of room for beating and banging and passing. We've seen 2, 3, 4 lines, 3 and 4 wide racing, and we're only a tenth of the way in. I think once we get closer to the finish here, the final 10 laps, this is going to be a very, very exciting race.
And one track in particular that they stopped going to as well was down in Memphis. I got to go to the IHRA World Finals for drag racing in 2015. We took a peek at the speedway there. It is deserted, not even used for local racing, which is a damn shame. So many great tracks in the United States and North America are closed over the years. We open up for the mile and a half tracks, but the greatest short tracks I've run like Rockingham and so many. Just a shame as fans now are calling, screaming to bring back more short tracks.
Yeah, and it's cool to see, especially with the SRX series pumping in a lot of the blood into the short track racing across America. I can't even tell you. Oh, caution, number 2 out on the speedway. We will put a pin in that conversation momentarily and see if we can't find maybe James Haney, Kim Quick involved, the number 21 car. Going to pull up the Kong Beer Bong instant replay one more again. See if we can't find out what happened to the quick machine here, the number 21. And looks like it might have been just a little bit of contact. Going to have to double check on this and see exactly what the deal was. Pulling up the tapes now. And here we go, taking a peek at it. There is the 21 car. Going to focus in on him. And looks like coming out of turn number 4 here, the 55 kind of slows up. That was coming to the cautions. Yeah, that was the 55 slowing way up and just got right into the back of him here. So caution happening before that. It appears to be. See if we can change this up. Take a look from the blimp. See who's going in the wrong direction. It actually looks like the 4 car just kind of stops. There, Joe Marks. I don't see anybody else pointed in the wrong direction, so I'm wondering if it was just a kind of a lazy spin there, and everybody else just kind of piled on in. But looking at the timing and scoring as we're fiddling around with this replay, it looks like pit road is a busy spot. Everybody coming on down. 17 laps on a set of tires. We might see some 2-tire, might see some 4-tire stops here. Heck, we might even see fuel only.
What's the duty here tonight? 2 sets of tires?
2 sets of tires, correct. That's 2 sets plus what's on the car. So it'll be interesting to see what these drivers do. Looks like everybody did stay down. Doug Heveron Nope, Doug Hevron's down there as well. He's going to be the first driver off pit road, up 15 spots. Gene Daly in the 98 up 11 spots to second. Those guys, we'll see if we can pull up. Got a graphic here, pit stop time, so be able to see. Looks like potentially fuel only for Havron and Daly. And there you can see a lot of 14, 15-second stops for everybody third on back. Huber, Lehman, Wellen, Schulte, Chadwick, Smith, Haney, and Mattis rounding out the top 10. So I would imagine those drivers all getting 4 tires and Sunoco race fuel, and they're going to try and stretch this on out to the next pit stop.
Quite a few position changes for some major. Doug Hevron with 15 spots gained. Daly with 11. Christopher Davis, the 38 machine, picking up 12 spots on that pit stop. Mike Erder, 7. Stryker picking up 11.
Just taking a peek now. Looks like Gene Daly and Doug Hevron going back down pit road, the 22 and the 98. Maybe they drove through and missed their stall there. But they're going to come down and get service to those machines, handing the lead over to Ken Huber, who did, in fact, beat James Lehman off of pit road there. So tight battle off of pit road, and pretty much the same drivers up in the top 5. Ken Huber, James Lehman, Greg Wellen, Andrew Schulte, and Kyle Chadwick. A little bit of a mix of Toyotas and Chevys up front. The first Ford is the 87 car to Keith Haney. He's running 7th.
Doing a mic check here. Is this working?
Yeah, everything A-okay there, Mikey.
Perfect. I was like, did you lose me? Because we've been having some technical difficulties over the last couple of weeks with this microphone. After taking it out of the wall several times.
Nope, still running good here, and you can see the 306 machine up in the front of the line. He's going to get the free pass, putting Kerry Cleaver back on the lead. Check that, back 1 lap down. So that'll give us 28 cars still on the lead lap, 29 counting Doug Hevron, who is coming off of pit road now. And still no movement out of the 63 or the 46 pit. Gary Woldbolt and Scott Patton missing the start of this race, so not entirely sure there. Maybe we can get an update from the pits here or from the YouTube and the Facebook chat. And got to give everybody a shout on the chats, the Facebooks, the YouTubes. Got Nathan Halls out there watching, Billy Wise, and everything else. Jerison Hughes checking in from the car. There you can see the 306 getting a wave on by James Lehman. So it's always cool to have some of the drivers out here and checking in with the Facebook chat, YouTube chat. Getting distracted easily here as Squirrel ran by. Scott Patton just couldn't make the race tonight, but he is watching over on YouTube and said it was great to meet me too. So that's always good to hear.
Phones being blown up here. A lot of tuning in up here in in the Great White North, tuning in here tonight, watching the battles unfold. Great to see Lehman and Huber continue on the front row here. The Cat Machine and the 05 of James Lehman going to control this restart here. Going to be 20 gone. We are 1/5 of the way.
1/5 away, 4/5 of the race to go. Learning fractions here on Verdane TV. That right there is what it's all about. The lights are off on that iRacing non-model specific pace car. 2x2 all the way through, getting ready to go green one more time. Restart once again, and there it is. That number 30 shot out of a cannon. Ken Huber with a fantastic restart. Already has 4 or 5 car lengths on that 05 of James Lehman.
With his battle behind Lehman, Schulte, and Wellen going to go at it here side by side. As Lehman does catch the back of the bumper of the 30 of Ken Huber, they're going to go at it as well for that lead. Ken Huber in control of this, but lots of activity. And there's your boy, the 94, Greg Wellen, coming on strong here in the 8.
Yeah, he's even running my number too. There's a number I usually run when I do this sim racing deal. But Keith Haney back in that 7th position after falling off a few spots there on the initial start of this race. Everybody pretty much single file here in the top 10. We go back to Vern Markheim there in the 33 car. He's got a front seat to, it was a side-by-side battle between Mike Herder and Robert Mattis there, the 117 and the 29. They figured and that all out, back to straight line racing. There goes Vern Markheim in the 33, current series points leader, going to dip on down low, try and move himself a little bit further up in the top 10 here.
I'm excited to see what Liberty 8 has for us. Chris Davis taking up 12 spots here almost picking up half of the field here now in position 11. Looking for a big move, and he does get it past the 60 of Merck. Merck has been a dominant driver here in this series here with the multi-league, but they're going back and forth. And there you see, as we see the 38, as they all bundle up there for that position.
Lots of different racing lines here at this Nashville Superspeedway, and it's great to see that every piece of this racetrack is getting used. Did you spill your coffee there, Mikey?
No, I believe the 58 got into the 16 there. There was a little tangliness going on there, but seem to be behaving at this point.
58 Bad Apple Racing there. Jason Hughes tuned into the YouTube. Got to give him a shout out. Awesome looking SRX paint scheme. Scott Patton put that together a few weeks back for him. And kind of looks similar to the SRX paint scheme that they had on those cars. And doing a pretty good job running 15th. He's up 5 spots on the night so far. Still plenty of time working 24 laps. Going to cross the line here for 25. A quarter of the race in the bag. And there you can see the 95 car, Charlie Widener, getting on back behind him. Daniel Ferguson right behind him in the 25 as well. And everybody's still having a great run here. Everybody pretty much in a single pack. Just kind of giving a lot of give and take here early on. But I think as this race goes on here, Mike, we're going to see some beating and banging like we saw last Saturday night in that SRX race at Stafford Speedway.
Well, plenty of real estate left in this one. With 75 to go, we are a quarter of the way. So everybody being on their best behavior at this point of the race. But once we get down to that final 20, it'll get very interesting as there is some really great battles. Not a lot of contact, a lot of respect being shown by these drivers in the early parts of this race. But unbelievable battles going up in front. Lehman Huber, Lehman now your current leader as Huber stays close to the back bumper, but boys are keeping it pretty clean to the front.
Right in his tire tracks and trying to make something happen. He's doing his homework right now, trying to see where he's better, where he's stronger, where he might be just a little bit slower. And that's really what you got to do here in Nashville Superspeedway and really any of these tracks in the iRacing service. You want to see what these drivers are doing, where you can maybe get up on the high side or get around on the low side, and maybe see where the driver in front of you is going to make a mistake. It's a lot of studying going through here the first part of the race, and then it's all take for the final last few laps. Like I said, I think 10 to go here with Nashville Superspeedway. Going to really crank up the throttle and burn that candle at both ends and really see some phenomenal racing. Seeing some phenomenal racing right now. A lot of single file, everybody kind of checking different lines. There you see Andrew Schulte on the 81, moved himself up into third. He's up 3 spots on the night. Kyle Chadwick fourth, and Greg Willen rounding out the top 5.
Look at lap times right now between the top 11, which Christopher Davis in the 38 completes the top 11. All of them within very similar lap times, within a couple of hundredths of a second. So pretty consistent laps for a top 11 here as they continue to throw down here at lap number 29. But obviously, these guys are running through fairly similar lines, and we're not seeing a lot of fall off on those tires. The bottom of the field here now, we're running high 30-second times, almost a full second in the difference from the bottom of the order to the top. Whoa! Hang on to it.
Big old wiggle there from the 0-2 and Keith Smith. Wiggle. And you can see the Heat Vaney machine is going to close right in on the back bumper, try and capitalize on that. It looks like he just pancaked the wall with the right side of the car. Was able to keep on going, keep everything straight here on lap number 30 in the Multi-League Cup Series, presented by Stone River Outfitters. They're a little fly fishing shop, a brick and mortar shop there in Amherst, New Hampshire. And it's always cool to see having local businesses jump on board with the sim racing sponsorship. I know the next time I get through southern New Hampshire, I'll be stopping in and letting them know that I saw their logo on Vidane TV, and we're always trying to support those that support us. And this sim racing deal we got near and dear to a lot of our hearts, and kept us going through the pandemic last year, and still going. I know, Mikey, you guys are starting to finally open up the borders just a little bit in Canada, and I know here in Connecticut we're working on getting everything open back up to 100% capacity and all that good stuff. And man, it was great to see the Stafford Speedway 100% capacity sold out crowd, 10,000 people, 10,000 race fans in the stands. You could walk around the energy of that place. It felt like there was a cup race there. It was awesome.
I wanted to say what COVID, because when I was watching on CBS, I was just like trying to find Waldo and see you in the crowd, but there were so many bloody people there, I couldn't even see you until I actually texted you after the race and you told me where you were. But man, that was just unbelievable race, and to see a local boy, Kobe, spent a bit of time down in Charlotte with him at the home tracks. He was part of the Wheel and Modified Tour, 6-time champion. Gets it done on race number 1 for that SRX series. And to hear the local fans yell that guy's name, Kobe, at the end was absolutely incredible. But I don't know if you've seen the blooper, but I've never seen a guy win a race and so excited that he actually falls out of the car.
Yeah.
He fell on his ass, and I can tell you, it definitely hurt because he bit down on the lip and jumped up on top of that car. It didn't matter at that point.
Yeah, all adrenaline at that point, but he definitely felt it the next morning. And just phenomenal race, and lots of good energy going through there, and really looking forward to going to Stafford Speedway tomorrow. Regular series of racing Friday night. Going to be working with the Renner Race Car Street Stock team, the 38 late model, and just awesome. You know, great energy, great publicity. It was awesome to have all the CBS crews down there at the track, and to bump into people that I met through sim racing, and meeting people that I've known for a long time through the sim racing deal, coming out to the track and having a good time. And that's what it's all about friends and family, and getting to know people and connections and all that good stuff. And
ice cold beer.
And ice cold beer. We went through quite a bit of ice cold beer.
Look at this move. Kyle Chadwick drops to the bottom of the 88 machine, picking up a spot right now. He's going to take that one away from Andrew Schulte and the Kellogg's Cornflakes ride. But Schulte's going to fight back here. Big battle broom for that P3 position. But it's all Lehman right now, and I guess he's hoping that the crowd here at the iRacing Simulator is going to be cheering his name at the end.
Very possible, I guess we could say. Taking a look right now, though, on the left side of your screen, the Aim TV scoring tower, those lap times are on the screens next to each driver's name. Those are the last lap times as they cross the stripe. And you can see up front, 30.66, 30.79, 30.63. 5-10 laps ago, we were talking about the 29-second bracket. So these guys are definitely starting to put a lot of wear and tear on the tires on these race cars. And you can see the top 5 have really split away. Keith Haney back here has a little bit of a gap, and then there's a couple more cars. So really starting to kind of spread this racetrack thin. All these drivers going on through here, and everybody giving a lot of give and take right now. So first full race, first 100 lapper here we've had at Nashville Superspeedway. So it's tough to see what the tires and what the cars are going to react to and all that good stuff. We can actually see Kerry Cleaver in the 306 is going to come down and get service to that machine on pit road. But we might see some green flags pit stops starting to happen here, Mikey. I know we might be able to make it just a little bit further on fuel. As you can see, Merck in the 60 car, he's going to come down and get service. I think we can go a little bit further on fuel, but tires is going to be the order of the day.
Well, last week was a huge thing with pit road activity. We had our top 5, I believe, that put everybody down a lap and was a deciding factor. We had a couple of Newfoundland veterans, Bob Hutchings as well as Corey Reed, who've been around sim racing for a long time, but also a long history of racing. Came into it as a rookie for the first time here in the multi-league, looking for a big win, but ended up being in that cluster that went down a lap. So we'll see what happens here. If we see some green flag pit stops, will Lehman stay out and try to put him down a lap like we seen last week?
Yeah, one of the first times I've seen that here on Verdane TV, where the leaders stayed out and kind of forced everybody's hand during some green flag pit stops. Made it so nobody can get the wave around there. So that was kind of a shocker. Only ended up with less than 10 cars on the lead lap towards the end of the race. And we can see everybody's still 27 cars right now on the lead lap. Merck in the 60 car, the first car, 1 lap down in the 60 or the 28th position rather, coming down pit lane. It looks like Kerry Cleaver might be done for the evening. He's still sitting on pit road in his 306 ride. And back up here in the 4th place, you can see Greg Wellen trying to get on down. Check that. That is the battle for 4th. Ken Huber dropping back to 5th gears. I think his tires are pretty much shot trying to hold off the Lehman machine. Kyle Chadwick up in the 88 car. He's moved up to 2nd. Andrew Schultz to 3rd. Greg Well in 4th. Ken Huber back down to 5th.
Huber right now is just buying this time. Still plenty of time here in this race. 42 laps of 100. Huber is not going to push the envelope here, so he's probably just waiting to see when the leaders will go down before he can get some fresh Goodyears for around the corner and see what he's got for him. But plenty of time here as long as he stays within striking reach. But he has given up that battle for position with James Lehman and kind of snuck back there and just kind of watched it all unfold in front of him. It'll be interesting to see what we see here as I have a funny feeling looking at the lap times. Last lap times going all the way back to Greg Weller, they're now in the 31-second mark. So we're seeing quite a bit of a fall off on those current Goodyears out on the track right now.
For sure, and I think we're going to end up seeing 1 or 2 drivers come down pit road and really force the hand here. And a lot of drivers side by side at this point, not really racing the other competitors, kind of racing the tires and racing the racetrack itself. This may very well be the first long run that these drivers have done on green flags pit stops. So it's going to be a wonder to see if we have anybody lose control or if it's just going to end up being green flag stops. It'll be tough to see, but we'll be going to be focusing in on that, taking a peek right now. This is a battle for about 13th and 14th position. Gene Daly, Mark Stryker, Jason Garrett, David Ferguson, King Quick, Brian Abbott, all right in a bunch here, and almost single file all the way through for the most part. You can see Abbott kind of running a little bit higher right there, trying to maybe cool the tires off just a little bit, get a little air on the front of the tires or front of the car, and thinks better of it. Back in the tire tracks. Oh, he's going to dip all the way down low, get around that 22 car, and set his sights on the 21 machine at Kim Quick.
Quick has done a great job, went all the way to the bottom there with that caution there earlier on, that last caution, and now battles back and finds himself just 6 spots out of where he started this race. So we're seeing the 0-2 down pit road, so now we're starting to see a little bit of activity there on pit road. Heath Smith, James Hearns, now on pit road. We got 2 takers right now. So green flag pit runs here. Will the leaders take, or will we see what we seen last week where Lehman and the boys try to put him down a lap?
I don't know. It's going to be tough to tell here. We're seeing a lot of cars that are running much, much slower than when they started. We'll take a look at the last times by right around low 31, high 30 seconds there in the top 10. You see Richardson in the 16 car running a 31.1, and if we switch that on over to the best lap times, they were running 29.3s earlier on in the run. So I definitely think we're going to be seeing a lot of these cars come down pit lane here shortly. It's just a matter of maybe waiting until we get to halfway, 2 laps away from that lap 50 mark. But I think once we start seeing some of these leaders come down, they're going to be sacrificing so much time by staying out on that racetrack. I think we're going to see the domino effect here.
Wait till the halfway mark with 2 to go to the halfway cross flags, but Chadwick and Schultz finally giving up that battle as they went side by side for several laps. Chadwick will take the position number 2 as Schultz in the Kellogg's Cornflakes. Chevrolet will slide into that P3 and not cause too much. Whoa! Hang on to it. Haney up into the wall. What happened there? Looked like he wanted to go down pit road, but decided not to.
Yeah, that was tough to call. It looks like he was trying to come down. He was running in the top 10, up almost in the top 5, and it actually looks like he jumped on the wrong access road for pit lane. And, well, he's still kind of struggling with that pit road entrance. Not really too sure what's up with the 87, but we do
Google
stay green.
Maps.
It could be, yeah, it could be. And looks like that was coming in pretty hot there, coming down pit lane. So, I'm not too sure what the deal is with the 87 here.
What's happening, and as Haney comes in for a stop, he's got a bit of damage where he spanked that wall. But we got a couple takers here. We got 4 down on pit road right now, 5, 6. Davis will go, as well as Schultz is in now. He's going to lose that top 3 position that he had. Striker's in, as well as Haney, Merck, Garrett. Oh, they're all starting to come. Leaders staying out. There is that sensation of putting someone down a lap as our leader, Kyle Chadwick and James Lehman, going to stay out. Greg Willem and Huber are going to stay with him. Huber, we talked about him earlier. He was kind of basically at the mercy, but James Lehman is going to come down, as you see it on the screen. The 05 will give up the lead, but Chadwick is going to stay out. So it's interesting to see if Chadwick and Wellen and the boys are going to put him down a lap.
1.33 miles the distance around this super speedway here in Nashville, or right outside of Nashville. We're in Lebanon, Tennessee here. The 88 out front with the 94 and the 30 still staying out on track, staying out once again as they go on by. And you can tell a lot of these drivers definitely worked on pit entry under caution. But I don't know if green flag pit stops was on everybody's mind when they were practicing earlier on this evening and throughout the week. A brand new racetrack to the iRacing simulator. As we can see another half a dozen cars or so coming down pit road. There you see Robert Mattis following down Ken Richardson in the 16. Robert Mattis, Mark Stryker down there getting service. Doug Everon, he's going to leave pit road there. Back in the 16th position or so. Brad Ream leaving. Gene Daly down there as well in the 98 car. Ken Huber in the 30. He's going to come down from third, get service to that machine. And Kyle Chadwick staying out for one more lap.
Surprised Huber is going to come down there now. That last lap wasn't that bad. He was under the 31-second lap. He was a little bit quicker than the rest of the field, but Kyle Chadwick and the rest of the field, Greg Willen, Vernon Margheim, and Kim Quick going to stay out. Bill Paradise picking up 24 spots here. Woo! Hard charger.
And this is one of the things we saw last week. A couple of drivers in the back of the pack rolling the dice, waiting to see if they would get a late caution late into these green flag pit stops. Taking a peek, it looks like it is the top five that have not come down. Mark Byland in the 302, he's going to come down. So we got Chadwick, Wellen, Markheim, Quick, and Paradise, the top five right now. Toyota, 3 Chevys, and a Ford up in the top five and waiting to see when they'll come down pit road. They're going to keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And I think at this point, Mikey, you're just going to have to keep on pushing it until we either get a caution or you really, really start to lose time. Because that 6th car, or the 6th position, the number 60 of Merck, he is the first car one lap down. He's in 6th place. So these guys got a little bit of time to work on their deal.
Well, it's 2 seconds in the difference between their best times and their current last lap time. So as we see, Vernon Margheim as well as Bill Paradise are going to take the chance to come down. So top 3 still out. Oh, Kyle Chadwick, Greg Willen going to come in. Will Kim Quick be a taker here? As we take a peek, will he come down pit road or will he stay out and really push the envelope here?
He's going to stay out in that 21 car. There you can see the 16 floating on by like he was standing still. Ken Richardson with 4 fresh tires. He's bringing that number 29 car as well. That's going to be Robert Mattis just down and away on pit road. So put 11 cars back on the lead lap. First one lap down is going to be Charlie Wider in the number 95 Spam Machine. And we're seeing Kim Quick, the last driver to come down pit road. It looks like he might be slowing this time by, potentially coming on down. Here he comes. He's going to get service to that pace car. Flawless entry. You can see the 3-2-1 lines there on the apron. Got that thing slowed down nice and slow, and going to get 4 fresh tires and some fuel on that 21 machine, and more than likely going to hand the lead right back over to this fella right here in the 81, Andrew Schulte, crossing the stripe, new leader.
There we have it. James Lehman will fall into that P2, but Lehman back by about 1.4 seconds behind our leader, Andrew Schulte, in the Kellogg's Cornflakes machine. The 81 taking control of this with a pretty decent gap, but looking at the score clock here, James Lehman seems to be a little bit quicker, but only by a couple of hundredths of a second.
And we're seeing Schulte and Lehman had identical lap times, or pit stop times, 14.7 by the crew. So Schulte might have been just a little bit better with his pit road entry and exit to get him the lead there off of James Lehman, Merck there. And third, Smith and Huber rounding out the top 5 as far as after those green flag pit stops. And it's really kind of spread this field out quite a bit. We're seeing about 1.3 seconds back to second place, 4 seconds back to third, 5, almost 6 seconds back to fourth, and so on and so forth. So drivers all the way around this racetrack, not too many side-by-side battles going on right now, but we'll definitely take a peek around the racetrack and see what all we can see. But Andrew Schulte, phenomenal job with green flag pit stops.
Did a great job on pit road. He does have the quickest time at 14.2, which was his first pit stop. But all those fractions add up. I've been telling my younger classes of Bandolero that are coming up through the fields, the young guns of the sport, that these fractions quickly add up to be seconds. And anywhere you can grab a tenth of a second, let's not even talk about hundredths of a second. A tenth of a second is massive in racing. You pick up a quarter or a third of a second, it's pretty much a game changer. It could be the win for you at the end of the day. So it's great to see Schulte controlling this one, but that gap is slowly getting down as Lehman has picked up 0.4 of a second now, within a second now of our leader.
Yeah, James Lehman in that 05 ride, fast wherever he goes, really showing that he put some practice in here this past week, and you can see he's got the leader set in his crosshairs and really able to close in on the entry of the corners, backing all the way off the throttle. So yes, it is a super speedway, but a lot of throttle control here as we ride on board with the 05 car. And you can see as soon as he slows up into the corners, really gets close to that number 81 machine. And he's showing it now. He's less than a second away. 9/10 is the gap from first and second.
Ken Huber back into where he wanted to be, P3, but that's about 5 seconds away. So 5.14 seconds. Ken Huber is off, so a lot of gapage between our top three here. Merck now finds himself in a P4 position. He's picked up 4, but that Christopher Davis, that 38 machine, that is one of the cars that we talked about earlier. Davis has picked up quite a bit since the beginning of this race. He is one of the biggest hard chargers here. He is the hardest charger with 18 spots here.
And this is, in fact, the battle for 5th on back through about 10th place. You can see 94, Greg Vollen. He's able to drive away. Christopher Davis in the 38, Tim Horton's ride. He is going to slide himself comfortably up into the top 5. Kyle Chadwick and Merck, a little bit of side-by-side action, but give it over to the 88 car. He's going to slide into 6th. There you see Merck and Heath Smith kind of rounding out 7th and 8th positions. So a couple of drivers working with each other, racing each other hard for a little bit and realizing they should probably try and save some of the equipment for later on in this race as we work lap number 65.
Great to see Tim Hortons involved with the iRacing series. Do you got Tim Hortons down in Connecticut near you?
I don't believe we do. I have been to them up in Maine, but I've never been to any in Connecticut.
I don't know what is in the coffee, but man, I know, man, all over this country, bloody country, they line up all the way down the street for that coffee. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. I'm a fan, but it's wild. There's no way I'm waiting in the lineup for 40 cars for a drive-through coffee.
No, I'd rather make my own coffee. But when I do come up there to Eastbound Park, up there on the Rock, we're going to have to stop and possibly get 20 Timbits and a double-double.
Little double action, but I'm a big fan of Krispy Kreme, man. That red light sign, man, when that comes down the States, it was just awesome to see the traffic divert into that place as soon as that red light came on. So, was it you that told me that they don't do that no more?
No, it was a hot commodity here in Connecticut. We had about a half a dozen or so open up, and just like Tim Hortons up there, the line wrapped around the building 3-4 times long, and then it just kind of faded out of existence. Everybody got sick of warm donuts, I guess.
It's not rocket science.
No, you go to Dunkin' Donuts, you get you a donut, you put it in the microwave for 20 seconds, and there you go.
Dunkin' Donut that was probably made 3 days ago with all preservatives.
That's fine. They're still delicious.
Well, it's all cornflakes right now. It is the 81 of Andrew Schulte. Put on a show here tonight. But look at that. James Lehman now gets to about a couple of car lengths here. Half a second. He's picked up 9/10 of a second in the last 8 or 9 laps. So Lehman, a quick machine here tonight. For best times between the two, basically a 29.3. But currently, both of them throwing down 30.57s and 30.52. Only 5/100ths of a second faster for Lehman.
22 cars still on the lead lap here. Brad Ream is that 22nd car in the number 61. And a couple of drivers off a few laps down here. James Earn, Bill Paradise, James Haney, and Jason Garrett. A couple of drivers still sitting on pit road. Gene Daly, Keith Haney, after an odd pit road entry there in the 87. He's still down on pit road, multiple laps down. Kerry Cleaver, Joe Marks, and Scott Patton, Gary Wolbolt not making the show here, but 30 cars here. Strong field at Nashville Superspeedway, and we've seen some great racing all the way around this track.
Yeah, Nashville's been a popular conversation this week, so it's great to see a sneak peek before we go into the great Father's Day weekend. Big Father's Day weekend, racing all over the United States and Canada at Eastbound International. We'll be doing the Bay by Bay Limited 100 race Father's Day Classic. So, but a lot of conversation right now about Nashville, about the coolers. I know our boy Randy the Plumber sparking a few people here. You know what? He has a bit of a point. And, you know, the fans, they give everything. And I don't know, being at some of these places, I was always told at Daytona that the coolers were allowed because they just couldn't serve that many beers to that.
Yeah, it's kind of a give and take. I see both sides of it as we see Andrew Schulte giving up that second position. He's going to come down pit road, or giving up the lead, rather. He's going to come down pit road, get some service to that machine. So I think we're going to see another round of green flag pit stops here to round this out. 28 laps to go. But as far as the cooler argument goes, Heath Smith, Andrew Schulte, Doug Hevron, Mike Herter, they're all coming down. I don't believe they've got coolers in the car, but they might have a cold beer on the desk or so. James Lehman going to come down, Ken Huber as well. And it's really tough to say. You know, I get that most places don't allow coolers in, but it was over 100 degrees there at Texas Motor Speedway last weekend. So even if you're just trying to get some ice or some cold waters in you, it's tough, especially having to walk around in the pit area and trying to find and all that other stuff, and paying $8 for a water and $27 for a beer and all that good stuff. I get both sides of it. So I will keep my opinion to myself.
Well, as a track promoter, I understand, but you know, I've heard it from a couple of guys down there. It's just so difficult. So many people. The lineups are still so intense. So hopefully they're listening and they get it all figured out. But I know Plummer doing a great job firing everybody up. Right here now, Wheelan is going to Greg Wellen. The 94 is really hard charging right now with that boy, Christopher Davis. Hey, look at that 38 machine now in a P2 position. But looking at last laps, the 4 Goodyears now about a full second off those 4 fresh ones that we're going to see from Lehman and the boys as they go all the way to the back on that green flag pit stop. So this could be challenge here as they're going to find themselves down a lap here. Lehman down a lap. So our top 19 all on the lead lap here. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. We see more takers for pit road here. 4 more coming down.
Charlie Weiner, Daniel Ferguson, Brad Ream down on pit road. Jason Hughes there in the 58 SRX machine. He is going to leave pit road there. And you can see there's the 81 and the 22 coming on around. They made their pit stop just a while ago, and you saw them drive right around the leader, Greg Wellen, like they were standing still. Ken Richardson, Mark Stryker, David Schreck, they're going to come down pit road, get service to the 9, the 77, and the 16, all getting 4 tires and fuel. And Greg Wellen still holding on to that lead here with 25 laps to go at Nashville Superspeedway.
Everybody's been pretty nice here tonight. We haven't seen a lot of cautions. We've seen that really wonky one back there earlier where Kim Cook got pushed off the race surface there. I believe it was lap 13, so a really long green flag stretch here. But I don't think they're going to be as nice in the final 15. So will Greg Wellen and Kyle Chadwick hope to see that nastiness come out in the next 10 laps as we count them down here? 24 to go here at the Multi-League Cup Series. It is Nashville. Paul, ice, no ice.
As long as it's wet and has a little bit of an alcohol content, I think I'll be okay.
I don't know where you were going to go with that.
We'll bring in a sleeve full of nips and we'll be good for the race.
Put that adult content logo up in the corner. Oh, great show here from our competitors. Greg Wellen picking up 4 spots since the start of this one. He started in P5 at the beginning. Werner Margheim, who was in P14 at the beginning, now finds himself in a P4 position, but he's going to be a taker right now as we take a peek at the 33. Werner Margheim now coming down pit road to get service. That's going to leave Chadwick, Wellen, and Robert Matisse. We haven't talked about him, the 29 machine. They're doing a great job out there as really The top 9 are all on the lead lap as Vernon Markheim will go down here. So it'll be 8 cars on the lead lap.
And you can see just how much quicker that 05 car was with fresh tires. Drove around the 29 car like he was standing still. And Robert Mattis going to come on down, take that Target machine to pit road, 4 tires and fuel. On the menu here, 21 laps to go. Greg Wellen still out front, still holding on to that lead. He's got about an 8-second, that lead's going to grow just a little bit as Chadwick working around Lehman there. James Lehman in the 05 really driving through these lap cars like they're standing still. But Kyle Chadwick 8 seconds back, and then 20 seconds back to third place Kim Quick. So Greg definitely has a little bit of time here to kind of deal with, but the more laps we run, the quicker the other drivers are going to be catching up to him, and the slower his car is going to get. As you can see, these drivers all behind him. These aren't for position. These are drivers that had come down pit road, got 4 fresh tires, went down a lap, and now they're driving back around the leader to get those laps back, quote unquote, the hard way. Still 4 drivers out on track that have not come down. Greg Wellen, Kyle Chadwick, Kim Quick, and Andrew Schulte in the 81 machine. So it'll be interesting to see how long they stretch it out, if we're going to get a caution, or what the deal's going to play out to be here.
I don't know what happened, but the 05 machine, James Lehman, now finds himself in position number 22. Did he serve a penalty for speeding on pit road or something? Because he is down 2 laps now, and someone who went with him at the same time was Ken Huber, who's only down 1 lap.
I definitely think there was something going on there with the 05 crew. I don't know if it was a penalty or if he missed his stall, but I did notice he was on pit road for an extended amount of time. So no damage on the 05 car, I don't believe, as he's side-by-side right there with Merck in the number 60 car. But it's definitely some sort of issue on pit road for that 05 crew.
Big upset as Lehman was thrown down. He was your pole setter coming in here tonight, down 20 spots right now. So unfortunately for him, that doesn't look good being down 2 laps at this point. As we count it down, 18 to go. Greg Wellen, Kyle Chadwick, but huge gap. Our leader, Greg Wellen, in 94 with an 8-second gap. And now we have the top 5 on the lead lap, and P6 back is down a lap. So this one is a game shaker like last week. Very different strategies. I think a lot of these guys came in with a bit of a short run strategy, but we've seen a monster long green flag action here tonight. I believe now we're about probably around, if I was doing my math properly, we've done around over 70 laps caution free.
Yeah, I believe the last caution came right around lap 30, lap 32, and these drivers, once they got used to the track, really putting on a show here at Nashville Superspeedway. So looking forward to seeing more races here on Verdane TV, and really looking forward to the Cup race that's going to be here this weekend. So, and speaking of this weekend, Father's Day weekend, NASCAR Cup Series, you're a big monster truck guy. What do you think of that 4-car?
Hey, I don't want. Monster Jam bought Dennis Anderson, and I've always I've been working with the Bigfoot team out of St. Louis. So like Dennis Anderson is not, I do a lot of shows. I've produced over close to 500 monster truck shows, and every kid goes, "Is Gravedigger going to be there?" So it's always a hell no. Because it's a Monster Jam truck. It's a company truck. They bought it off Dennis Anderson, who no longer owns it.
Really? I didn't know that.
Same with Maxim Destruction. But a lot of those trucks in Monster Jam are owned by the corporation, and it's not like NASCAR. What I run is like Jimmy Cretan Bounty Hunter. Those are independents. We run the 57 Chevy, the Polar Team Screen. We run some heavy guys like the Hall Brothers, the original Dominator and Raminator. That's who run for me, and of course Bigfoot. Chandler being the original monster truck from 1981, but kind of cool to see Harvick with the Gravedigger scheme. I dig it. I just wish. I guess I'm a little bit envy. I never ever got to work with the cat because he was always exclusive to monster trucks. So
gotcha.
A little bit biased.
I get that, absolutely, and it's funny too because I go Stafford Speedway usually hosts. I don't know if it's Monster Jam, but there's usually monster trucks there, and
Monster Truck Throwdown or something.
Something along those lines. And Gravedigger wasn't there, and I always grew up a Gravedigger fan. You got to follow the guy that wins, and I didn't know any better as a kid. But always a cool paint scheme, and always cool seeing the history, all the different drivers that they had. And I showed up to Stafford Speedway that day, a Gravedigger fan, and I left an El Toro Loco fan.
There you go.
Kayla Blood driving that monster truck, and man, she made smoke come out of the nose of the truck, and it was really neat. She hops on out of that monster, and she's about 5 foot tall. She's got bright purple hair, and really, really easy to listen to. A little bit of a southern drawl there from at least she's from North Carolina.
Well, the original driver, I can't remember if it was Pablo or someone. But anyway, they couldn't get into Canada, so they put him inside the monster truck tire to get him across the border.
That is absolutely fantastic.
He was a little guy from Mexico, and anyways, the El Toro Loco truck, I'll never forget that. Monster truck industry has changed so much over the years. It has become the Monster Jam brand, very similar to WWE, Feld Entertainment, the circus, the Donovan and Bailey circus, bought Monster Jam, and so it kind of changed quite a bit. Live Nation was an owner, but going back to the early days, to the old truck pulls, I don't know if you remember them, Paul, but like the original, when Dennis Anderson and those guys were independents, they used to do a lot of shows together. You used to see a lot of great bigger Bigfoot shows. But then around 1997, 2001, that's when it all changed.
We looked it up, so you didn't have to.
Yeah, well, I've been at it for 20 years, but it's always great to bring back some of those memories. I've been involved with NASCAR for some time now, since 2014, and so cool to be here, even with this iRacing simulator. I'm kind of an old monster truck guy converted to the stock car, and I fell in love in 2014 at the Daytona 500. Super fan ever since. Nothing beats NASCAR, stock car, short track racing. I mean, I used to be a Formula race car driver, but followed Indy, followed F1, but man, I don't know how many people I've tried to convert to the cult of NASCAR and short track racing.
100%.
It is a cult.
Oh, it absolutely is.
These guys all here in the room, those that are listening know it's a cult because it's just pure awesome.
Yep.
That's what this is. It is pure awesome.
Same deal with the sim racing gimmick, and we can see here 8 laps to go, 7 as they cross the stripe. I think this 94 car of Greg Welland's going to stay out and stay in the bed that he's made himself. I'm going to cross the stripe, 7 laps to go. He's getting passed by every single lap car that's come down and gotten 4 fresh tires. He's running much, much slower than everybody else, but he's still got a 9-second lead over Schulta in the 81, and it's not shrinking by very much. A lot of the faster guys are getting around him, and they're able to close up a little bit of a gap, but they've got to go around the racetrack one entire time before they can pass that 94 car for position. So I think Greg's going to stay out here, Mikey.
It's going to hurt real bad if he runs out of fuel. We've seen that in some of the TCM special events. I can't remember where it was, but I believe it was North Wilkesboro. We had our leader come down and lose on the final lap due to fuel. So Greg Welland taking the gamble right now. Over an 8-second gap on Andrew Schulta. Schulta's been done a wonderful job here tonight. He took the gamble as well. But our top 2, folks, man, this is going to be tight. They decided to stay out. Will they be able to get the distance here with 6 to go? It's going to be a challenge, but not a lot of close proximity driving going on right now with our top 2, except for some lap traffic with some of the guys coming up in the back.
I was actually speaking to Tim Terry with Tim's Corner Motorsports a couple of days ago, actually yesterday as a matter of fact, before the Tim's Corner Live episode number 20. It's pretty cool. That's been going on for a long time as Schulta gets around the lap traffic and sets his sight on the lead. Closes in just a little bit, but 5 laps to go. I don't think he's going to have enough time there. But Tim coming to me with a tentative schedule for this winter for the Tim's Corner Motorsports special events. So very excited to have that coming back here, probably November, December, as well as the NEPS guys, New England, Pennsylvania iRacing Group, Corey Casagrande, Zane Farrell, those guys got me the tentative schedule. They're going to be racing with us. Great to have a lot of the Stafford and Jennerstown regulars coming back, Oxford regulars. John Peters, champ, Johnny Two Belts, 2 championships in a row, and he's been quick in the off-season practice, so he's going to try and make it 3 in a row with the NEPS guys. As we can see, getting close to 3 laps to go for Greg Welland in a 94 car, and you can see on that scoring tower on the left-hand side of your screen, down to 5.3 seconds. Does Schulta have enough time to catch that 94 car?
Spotters obviously told Schulta it's time to go. He's picked up over 3 seconds. He's going to bring it down under the 4, so he is hammered down right now. Eastbound and down, westbound and down, whatever you want to call it. He's looking for a truckload of beer right now as he picks up another half a second. Look at this. Schulta's time is just on fire right now. He's going to bring it down to over close to 3 seconds here. Andrew Schulte does not have a lot of time here. He's going to bring it under the 4-second
Oh,
mark
here he
here.
comes!
Oh, man, what? He's running out of fuel. The fuel window is coming in like we talked about. Does Schulte have enough here? As Schulte will now be your new leader. Man, 2 to go here. It's going to get intense.
Popsicle sticks in the air. Greg Wellen having to come down for a quick splash of fuel. Unbelievable. Doesn't have enough for 2.6 miles. The length around Talladega Speedway for 2 laps here at Nashville Superspeedway. That's almost half the distance.
I know with 10-second gap right now in the 30 machine of Ken Huber, if I was Schulte, I'd be turning on and off that fuel right now. We've seen drivers like Mike Alexander, or one of the weaponizers up here in the north, actually feather the fuel to the finish line by turning on and off the car. So final lap, white silks out for Andrew Schulte. Does he have enough to get to the start-finish line? Oh, baby, it's the 81 here tonight. What a gamble, Paul.
Big time gamble, and it's paying off. The 81 car taking a quick peek at the stint. He's been out there for 28 laps, so he had a little bit more in the tank than we thought. He's going to cross the stripe, checkered flag, give it to Andrew Schulte. He's going to come home with the victory for the very first race here at Nashville Superspeedway for the Multi-League Cup Series, brought to you by Stone River Outfitters. Ken Huber, Kyle Chatwin, Christopher Daniels, Davis Rather, and Mark Stryker going to round out the top 5. Man, that last couple laps, like we said, Mikey, very, very exciting.
Dude, it was similar to last week, different strategies here tonight, short runs, long runs. Are you able to pull up the 94 Greg Willen? When was the last time he pit? Because obviously he just did not have enough, and it's too bad we didn't get a chance to see him. But looking at it, the 14th position there,
42 laps.
42 laps, yeah.
Yep.
Big difference there. That is the game changer right there. Schulte was down 30 laps before, had enough. He knew he had enough to get there to the distance, talking to probably his spotter or crew chief or whoever. Or probably he's doing it all himself tonight. But, man, props to Schulte taking the gamble. But big shout out to our pole setter here tonight, the 05 James Leamy. He'll finish in P19. But, dude, man, what an upset for him. I don't know if it was a penalty or what, but we'll hear from him a little bit later on. But that's a huge upset there. Big night here in Nashville, Paul. It was awesome to be here, and great to see Andrew Schulte take the win.
And you can see he's burning it down, making sure he doesn't spill any of his cornflakes. And going to pull up tonight's winner here, Andrew Schulte, still burning him down. We're going to interview him from inside the car. Woohoo! Great run there, Andrew. Fantastic run, 2 laps to go. What was going through your mind when you saw Greg dip on down to pit road?
Well, I knew I was catching him. I didn't know how much gas he had or how much he was saving. The gap would have been a lot bigger, and I would have been a lot more worried. I had only taken 2 tires on that stop because it was kind of shortened runs there, and from previous runs, saw we weren't really doing too much damage to the left sides. But yeah, I'm happy to come on with a win there. It was unfortunately, it looks like Lehman got a speeding penalty or something, so that would have been a good race coming down to the end there. But yeah, just this is a fun track. I just downloaded it right before I got in the room and didn't know what to expect here, but 1.5 mile concrete surface is a ton of fun.
No, that almost answers my next question. We went 70-plus laps for green flag to round this thing out here. The first race in Nashville Superspeedway here for us on Verdane TV and for you guys in the Multi-League Cup Series. Did you go in with any kind of plan? Were you working short run, long run, any kind of plan going into it? And did you have any practice with pit road? We noticed pit road was kind of a hot commodity with green flag entries there.
I took one practice coming after qualifying. I took one shot coming in and saw how it was, kind of where I needed to set up my braking point there. And had to make a judgment call. I think the first green flag pit stop looked like Chadwick and Lehman had gotten into each other, and with checking up and pit road right there, I was like, well, I guess now's the time to go instead of having to get back up to speed and losing that time. So, yeah, we were just shooting for a long run speed. I just tried to do the best to save the tires, even if it gives up a little bit on the short run. And it was thankfully we had a couple of long green flag runs. It was a good race.
Very entertaining to watch from up here in the booth. And we had 32 guys start this race, taking the green flag here, one of the bigger fields we've seen in the past couple of weeks here in the Multi-League Cup Series. And he came home on top, came home with the victory and with a top 5 starting spot as well. We know you got cornflakes and Kellogg's all over that 81 ride. It's an old Terry Labonte paint scheme, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty cool to see that. Anybody else you want to give a shout out to? Sponsors, friends, family? Who else gets it done for the 81 crew?
Yes, sir. Shout out to Scott Patton for painting up this this little number here. Was always a Labonte fan growing up, and Scott does a lot better painting than I do, so yeah, it doesn't hurt to shoot him a few bucks to paint up something slick for me. And I know he's got a couple other paints throughout the field, so if anyone's looking for paints, he's the guy to go to. He does some good stuff. Shout out to Bandit Motorsports teammates. Shout out to my wife. She did some grocery shopping while I was racing, so it was we got some food stocked up in the house. So
always good to be stocked up, and always good when you don't have to do the grocery shopping yourself. Having somebody else to do that makes it a whole lot easier. But great run here tonight. Congratulations on the victory. We'll see you at Pocono next week.
I appreciate it.
And we're going to slide it on down a little bit further down pit road, catching up Ken Huber in the second spot. You got him, Mikey.
Hey, Kenny, you got a copy?
Yeah, how's it going tonight?
Hey, buddy, man, that cat machine was dominant throughout this whole race here in Nashville. I seen you dip down from pit road. Was it fuel? Did you have enough to get there? That was a bit of a gamble there.
Yeah, I took the gamble to short pit and gain a few positions. I wasn't as strong as I was hoping to be here tonight, and probably by the end of the race, I was starting to figure the track out. But early on, I was rolling the dice.
What we've seen at the beginning, there was some battles between yourself and James Lehman, and it kind of fell off there. Was that tires, or was it strategy that you decided to not pursue that lead?
Yeah, no, I decided not to pursue it for tires, but then I ended up chewing them off anyway. So like I said, it took me about half the race to kind of figure out what I was doing. First time on the track, I think, for everybody.
100%, man. Great to see the cat machine out there dominating throughout the field. A lot of practice throughout the week for Nashville with a brand new setup here.
No, I just got the track, I think, this morning. So yeah, no real practice other than what we had.
Well, that goes to show the skill level here at the multi-league. You know, Andrew Schulte just came into the server just before the race. Yourself only getting a day in. Awesome to see here. You guys do a fab job. A lot of respect there. Long green flag laps here tonight. Were you expecting that big long stretch?
I was certainly hoping so. A lot of times this league can really pull off some really good green flag racing, and then other times we have our issues. But tonight was one of those good nights.
Awesome to see. I'm sure some of the drivers were hoping a caution to come out and for it to be a little bit grittier at the end, but it did not come out. But following in a P2, Ken, great job for the cat machine, and always a pleasure to see you from up here in the booth of Vidane. Props to you and great job. Who gets it done for you? Anybody you want a special thank you here for the big weekend?
Just the multi-league, Kim Quick and Kent Connolly and Jimmy Todd and the Cranky guys, all those guys that we do racing every week. And so they're the guys that make it.
Awesome to hear. Any plans for some racing action on the Father's Day Classic weekend?
No, I think I'm working that weekend. I'll try to get a race here and there, but nothing real planned.
Maybe we ship you up here in Newfoundland in the Great White North and some action up here in the north side.
Sure. I'm already up north in Montana myself, so.
There you go. Well, I'll spend some air miles. We'll ship you in and show you a good time up here in the north. But great to see you, buddy. Congratulations from all of us at Vidane TV.
All right, thanks, Mike. Good job on the broadcast, too.
Paul, who we got? I believe we got Kyle Chadwick in the pit road.
Yeah, Kyle Chadwick coming home in the third position in that 88 car, best finishing Toyota. And man, you really stretched those tires out. 44 laps, the final distance on that last run. How did you hold on to that car towards the end?
Oh, it actually handled pretty good. The tires were fine. It was the gas I was trying to save. I ran out coming out of 4 and barely made it.
And we saw the same thing happen with the leader with 2 to go, Greg Wellen in the 94 car coming down. It looks like he made it 42 laps, so a little bit more fuel usage up in that clean air, I think. But made it look easy. The 88 car came home in third, and we've kind of been asking some of these guys throughout the post-race show here. We know not too many guys practice too much here in Nashville Superspeedway. Brand new track here for the iRacing service. Came out last week, and first time running here for the Multi-League Cup Series, brought to you by Stone River Outfitters. But did you come into tonight? Did you work on any long run, short run, green flag pit stops? Did you think we would come into tonight, run 70 laps green, and have to take 2 green flag stops? I guess for you, only one.
Yeah, I thought most of the race was actually going to be under caution. That's kind of where my strategy came in on that second run, was to stretch it out as far as I could and hope for a caution. That way we kind of flip the field and not get new tires. But, I mean, it's a track that's not really like any other. So just had to back up the turns a lot, get a good run on the long run.
Yeah, it's a super speedway that's half the distance of Talladega, which is pretty cool. I'm going to have to turn some laps here this weekend myself, I think. But definitely put on a show. We want to give you an opportunity to thank any friends, family, sponsors, partners on that 88 crew who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack.
Just thanks to everyone, all my teammates at BB&K Racing. Thanks to you guys for the broadcast, and Kim and all the admins put this league on.
Absolutely, and here at the Multi-League, racing 7 nights a week, and I believe twice on Sundays, morning league. So definitely lots of places to pick up and run here in the Multi-League. Get them on Facebook, and check out our YouTube page, Verdane YouTube page. We got the past half dozen or so races up here on Verdane TV. Been doing it live here for Thursday nights. But Mikey, that was a hell of a run. Great to see Nashville Superspeedway in action for the very first time on Verdane TV, and definitely not the last. Monday night, the Trans Service Cup Series, they're going to be returning they're going to be coming back here to Nashville Superspeedway the next time we go live on Monday night, and we're going to be seeing the Cup racing action here. So pretty cool to get a little preview here.
Yeah, 100%. It was a pleasure to be here for the opening night for the Nashville Superspeedway. And you know what? Going into this, I was thinking that we were going to see a dominant night from James Lehman. So these multi-league races is always so great to call, because you never know what's going to happen. We've seen so many different situations over the last couple of months with these guys, and they do such a great job. Respect for each other, and we see a lot of racing throughout all over North America, and these guys really do a great job. So, unfortunately for Scott Patton and Patton Paints, I was really hoping to see the 46 machine out there, but maybe something came up. So we'll see him again next week. But Pocono coming around the corner. Man, it's going to be a great week.
100%. And obviously, Multi-League Cup Series here. Can't do it alone. RSI Group. Give Kim Click a shout for all your networking needs. There you can see the phone number, 561-252-6126. Check them out on the web as well, rsigroup.net. And also by PRS Solutions Incorporated. Quick and easy removal of VCT, laminate, wood, tile, and glue down carpet. They're fully insured, so they're the ones to call for all that stuff. 813-732-6828. And by Kong Beer Bong, check it out. Kong.2drunk.net is the address. Be the life of the party. They just came out with 5 brand new camouflage designs, and you can buy 5, get 1 free. So you can hand them out to your friends here, and I do believe we're going to try and pick up one of those 5 packs and potentially give them out to some of these drivers and some of these fans, because, man, it's always cool to have free stuff for sure. So Kong.2drunk.net, be sure to check those guys out. Stone River Outfitters, they are the title sponsor now for the Multi-League Cup Series here on Thursday nights. Check them out on Facebook. Check out their website, Fly Fishing and Outdoors store there in Amherst, New Hampshire. Amherst, New Hampshire. Be able to check them out, and always cool to see the local businesses jumping on board and sponsoring and supporting the sim racing crowd. We like to support those that support us. So if you're in the area, definitely check them out. Check out their website and Facebook page as well. Patented Paints, you already saw the awesome paint schemes from the 58, the 88, the 30, the 81, I believe. All painted up by Scott Patton. You can check out his Facebook page, facebook.com/patentedpaints, just like it's spelled there on your screen. The official painter of the official sim racing painter of the Multi-League Cup Series. So check that stuff out. Awesome paint schemes. You can probably get all this stuff over on Trading Paints as well. Verdane Marketing Solutions, LLC. We'll take care of the merchandise, the website, all that good stuff. You make the car go fast. Check us out on the web, Vidane.net. Shoot us a message over on Facebook as well. We will definitely hook you up with whatever you need to get your name and your brand out there, whether it's sim racing, real racing, or anything in between. We got you covered. Vidane Marketing Solutions, LLC. And as always, the crew up here in the booth, tip the Vidane TV crew, tip.vidane.net. $5 will get us a beer, $10 will get us a beer and a burger, $25 might even get us a DoorDash. But it's going to be awesome.
$200 gets my wife the streak.
Yes. Yeah, we still haven't gotten $200 yet, so, and I'm sure you probably still haven't told your wife about that yet either. But well, that's neither here nor there. Great race here. Great race here from the Multi-League Cup Series. Stone River Outfitters. Be sure to check them out on Facebook and on YouTube. But for everybody here from the Multi-League Cup Series, for Vidane TV, I am Showtime. Paul Strickland Jr. Pump the brakes.
You're forgetting something here now.
What am I forgetting now?
Paul, happy Father's Day to all the drivers and sponsors and fans out there. Folks, go grab your old man and go to the closest short track and go spend a day this Sunday at a racetrack and enjoy each other. And other than that, from all of us, happy Father's Day. I'm out.
Happy Father's Day from Vidane TV, our family to yours, and definitely go out and have a couple ice cold wobbly pops with dear old dad. And that's going to do it here for us. Paul Strickland Jr., Showtime Strickland Jr., Mike James from up on the Rock Eastbound Park. We're out of here. We'll catch you on the flip side. When we do, we are going to be doing it live.
Oh.